Hello, we are in Piano Adventures Level 1 lesson book, and we are flipping all the way to the back of the book. This is the last song in the book. It is called The Bubble. It is the graduating song for this book. The Bubble, just like the other songs that you have recently been playing, Dinosaur Stomp and the Dreidel song, is also written in the key of G. This note right here is a D. It is one note above middle C, and your right hand is going to be positioned on the G just above it. This is the same hand position that you use in Ocean, Ocean. One thing to say about this song is that it truly has two-line sections or two-line phrases. So we're going to start by learning these two lines. Then we'll look at the bottom two lines of that page. Then we'll learn the two lines from the top of the second page and the two lines at the bottom. So let's start at the beginning with the first two lines. Let's begin by placing our hands in the piano on the right place. This is middle C right here. Your left hand goes with one finger above it so that your pinky will be on G. Your right hand is going to go on the next G up here. So this melody starts with this D and goes straight to your other thumb on G. Step up twice and then skip down, step up, and a fourth. Now we're going to come stepping down, but these notes are repeating. So this is a pattern that we've done before a lot of times, where you play your third finger in your right hand, both twos, and they go down. But we are going to go bouncing here and then hold. So let's look at that line again. It starts on a pickup note, which means it starts on the fourth beat. So 1, 2, 3. Ta, together. Ta, ah. Then you play the same thing again. With one exception, here there's going to be two A's and then a D. Rest. Play it with me. 1, 2, 3. Ta, ah. Rest. Go ahead and pause the video and do that on your own 2 more times. Now we're going to start looking at the next section, which begins in measure 9. So we're at the bottom of the first page looking at lines 3 and 4. Your hands are in the same place. They do not move. You're going to start with your fourth finger in your right hand. And with that, your left hand is going to be playing a fourth. That is your thumb and fourth finger together. So remember fours. So it starts here and steps down, skips up, steps down. And when it steps down right there, you go to a fifth in your left hand. So let's do that again. Then you play that again with one leading note. 2, 3, rest. Now it's both C's. And you're going to go down to G, back up to C, down to G again. And then it's D, C sharp, D, C sharp, D, 2, 3. So this first line starts out mezzo piano. The second line is mezzo forte. So it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, I messed it up. Ta, rest. So go ahead and pause the video and play that section 2 more times. Next, we're going to look at the top 2 lines of page 2, and I'm happy to inform you that they are almost identical to the first 2 lines of page 1. There's just one little difference, and that's that you're going to play a pickup note to the 3rd and 4th lines here, and we're actually not going to worry about that until we're working on the 3rd and 4th lines. So you should be ready to play the 1st and 2nd lines of page 2 right away. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this should be mezzo piano now. Ta, ah, ah. Ta, ah, ah. Let's go ahead and move on to the last 2 lines since you have already practiced that on the last page. So now we're going to be doing skips. So we're going to start here on a middle finger, and that's the pickup note that's at the very end of the 2nd line. And you'll notice there's accents on everything. So you can play this really dropping in. Some people like to play it like that. Some people like to stay attached, but you still want to have the ability to play with a lot of force because they are accented. So this is how this part goes. It goes 3 and then up, skips down, skips back up, and down to your 3 again. Then it picks up here, up, all the way down, all the way back up. Do it with me. Starting from the pickup, 1, 2, 3. Rest. Now it goes into a very dramatic ending. So we are going to play this next part, not only very quietly, but also very slowly. And it's going to put us into a minor key. So your 3rd finger for your right hand is going to come up here on B flat. Here's how it goes. Do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Good. And now we do the opposite. We're going to go forte and faster. So we're going to start on 3 and we're going to come up to D and we're going to run all the way down a 5-finger scale. Here we go. Staccato there, and then you come down to D and G below and play a staccato note. So those last 2 lines all together sounds like this. We've talked about all the sections of the song individually. Let's talk about how to put it together into one masterpiece. So at first, you're going to want to play the sections individually. Piecing them up like that will allow you to learn the song more quickly as a whole because you're working on little chunks that are easier to learn rather than fatiguing by the time you get to the end of the song. When we try to play a big song from beginning to end at the very beginning, usually what happens is that the first part of the song is super strong and the last part of the song is not, and we do not want that to happen. So that is why you're going to play it in chunks, each section individually, until you're at a point where you feel like you've mastered them, which usually means that you can play them about 3 times right without making mistakes. So they're coming pretty easily to you. At that point, you're going to combine 2 sections together. So for this song, that means that you're going to play all of page 1 and all of page 2 until it also reaches that point where you feel like you can do that with mastery. And then you're going to put the whole song together. Now, every step of the way, I want to make sure that you are using the dynamics and the markings that are written there. If you're not, then you're not at mastery. So if you notice that you're playing the notes, but you're not playing the markings, make sure to put those markings into your playing before you move on to the next step. Once you get to that last step, once you have all of both pages together and you're playing the full song, that's when you are ready to work on speeding it up. So you'll notice in the video when we were learning the notes, we were going rather slowly compared to when I played it at the beginning of the lesson. To get to that faster speed, you're going to pull out a metronome at this point, and you're going to put the metronome where it is when you are starting. And then each time you practice it, you can move it up a few beats a minute. So let's say you start at 80 beats a minute, you then might want to play it at 88 beats a minute, and then at 96 beats a minute, until you get it to the place that it is played at the speed that you feel comfortable. And you can play it there with mastery, keeping an even tempo and all of the markings intact.